of radiotherapy is now done. I have been using Lidocaine lollies and they're going out of fashion. My tongue is so sore. The lollies numb your tongue but only for about 20 minutes at a time, so I'm just like chomping on them every 20 minutes. I've been coughing up some awful stuff. It started off as like green goo and it feels like I'm choking, so it feels like it's completely blocking my throat, and I'm just sitting casually and then all of a sudden I'm just trying to get air and it's just completely blocking my throat, and then I spit it out and it's like this massive lump of goo. It's not nice at all. So some days I get loads of that coming out, and then other days there's just nothing there. It's just I'm choking and nothing's coming out. The cough is ridiculous. It's keeping us up all night. It's hurting during the day because obviously my throat's sore and then I'm coughing my guts up. That's not nice at all. I saw the oncologist today, and you know, this was a different one to last week. This was a lady this week, and she just kind of said, you know, yep, keep going. These are the side effects. It's going to get worse before it gets better. My dietitian spoke to us during the week and wants me to drink 7 of these a day. I've just changed over actually to vanilla flavour because anything with a flavour other than vanilla burns the life out of my tongue. Strawberry, chocolate, banana burns. It's horrible. So she's trying to get a load of vanilla ones for us, and then she's just put in a prescription for some from the pharmacy, and she said to make sure to ring them and tell them they have to be vanilla, otherwise they'll just grab any off the shelf and they'll just give us whatever they've got, which isn't going to work for me. A bit TMI, but if you follow me on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, as I've seen on day maybe 17, which was like in week 4, I had extreme constipation. Like I could not go to the toilet for my life. I actually hadn't been to the toilet for 10 days, and like when I told my cancer nurse that, she nearly fainted, and I was like, no, let's explain. I wasn't panicking because I was barely eating anything. To be honest, in those 10 days I was lucky to have one of these a day, which is 300 calories, one of them. And I thought, I'm breastfeeding as well, I thought, you know what, I'm probably just not producing anything to get rid of, like, which is rank to talk about, I know, but if you're going to go through this soon, this is a side effect that you need to be aware of, because I definitely wasn't prepared for this. So yeah, by day 10 I was like, oh my god, I've got a serious issue here. So when I went, so my cancer nurse rang us, that's what happened. She rang us and I said, oh god, and I'm having a bit of an issue. And she was like, right, I'll just prescribe you something. And within a day it was sorted. She prescribed us Laxido, I think it was called. It's just like an orange powder that you put in water and just mix it up. And it says it takes 3 a day, but I found 1 was enough. She also prescribed us some Senna liquid, but I haven't used it because the other thing's working, so I don't want to go overload. I don't want to be going the total opposite way. So yeah, that is working. It's quite good to see how fast it can kind of do your prescription when you have an issue, because I did think like, oh, wouldn't that be easier just to go to the pharmacy and pick something up rather than have a prescription, but they were really good at getting it sorted straight away. I'm sorry I keep touching my face because it's just so, I just want to claw it. It's really itchy. I'm still very swollen here. I told the oncologist today and she was like, nothing you can do about it until the treatment ends. I really just want to like rive all of the fluid out, but she did say like, you're going to make it worse because the swelling is there because we're battering this side. I mean, I'm getting it on both sides, but this side's getting a higher dose. We're battering it and it's not getting a chance to drain. So she said like, once the treatment's done, if it's still there after a few weeks, that's when we'll look at getting like a lymphedema specialist to have a look and doing some draining techniques and stuff. So for now, I've just got to put up with it. Like, it stops my range of motion. I probably told you. It's the side effect that's irritating us the most, if I'm quite honest. The dietitian really wants to give us a feeding tube, and I am really stubborn and I don't want a feeding tube. I know, you've got to listen to them and you've got to eat to stay alive and all that stuff, but I'm just I really don't want one. I'm like a toddler kicking and screaming in Asda because my mum buys any sweets. I don't want a feeding tube. I had one after my surgery. They put it in while I was asleep and I didn't like it. I didn't even use it and I didn't like it. It was just in my nose, dangling like an elephant, and like, I'm sorry if you're going to go through this and you're like, wow, you're really selling it as a hobby, but I'm telling you the truth, I don't want it. So she prescribed us some more vanilla ones of these over the weekend, and she put a note in the bag. This is my dietitian, saying, please ensure to have 7 a day to be nutritionally adequate or whatever. 7. I was like aiming for 3 a day. That was like a good day if I'd had 3, because I thought like with breakfast, dinner, tea. So if I've done 3, I'll be gaining weight, mate. I mean, it's only 900 calories, but so I wouldn't be gaining weight. But I did think if I have 3, that's good enough for me. No, 7. Christ on a bike. I'm definitely not getting 7 in. So when I met with her today, she said, oh, how did you do over the weekend? Did you manage to get 7? No. I said I got 3 or maybe 4. I don't think I actually got 4. 3 is my max. But, you know, I was like, don't give us a feeding tube. So I said, no, I got 3 or 4. And she was like, I've lost in as a half a stone. So obviously she's like, it's not going to work. So now we're discussing the feeding tube more seriously. I think I'm just going to really try and plough these drinks down us. And like, you might think, well, why weren't you doing that anyway? But when you've got no taste and you've got no appetite, there's no hunger at all, it is such a chore to drink them. I can't explain it. I have one, I feel sick. I just feel like I don't want any more. And I know it's not about what you want, you've got to do it. I know. So yeah, that's my goal for this week, to try and get, say 6 or 7 in during the week. And my friends bought us this protein powder as well, so I thought, well, if I scoop some of that in, that might give us some more calories without us having to physically drink more. So I'll see how that goes. I did ask her what is the procedure with the feeding tube, because before I started the video, so my cancer nurse said, you know, most people get a feeding tube and this is what happens. And she said, you know, you'll probably need to be hospitalised for 3 days while we get you used to the feeding, because we need to know that when you go home, you know how to feed yourself. You're not going to starve at home because you don't know how to use the tube. I know a lot of people have different feeding tubes, like stomach tubes and all sorts, but this is literally just a piece of plastic, goes up your nose and down there. And then what my dietitian said today was that I can do bolus feeding, which I'm assuming is B-O-L-U-S, not like bowl-less. I don't know anything about it, so be prepared, whatever I say here might be total crap. But you did say, so basically I would get my shakes and I would take a syringe and I would syringe them through the tube, rather than feeding on a machine, which is what a lot of people do. The machine kind of feeds, so you'd have to sit there while the machine feeds it through, which takes hours, I've heard. But she said, obviously you've got 3 kids on the go, I don't really want you hooked up to a tube multiple times a day. It'd be better if you do the bolus feeding, which is where you just inject it in, and you could easily get 7 of them down within an hour probably. I still don't want one, but she was clearly trying to sell it to us. Bless her, lovely woman. So they asked like how long would we need to stay in hospital, because obviously he's thinking like leaving the kids, leaving the baby, and I'm not even considered it, so he can have the tube, he's asking all the questions. But she said if you get it this week, you'd be in probably 2 to 3 days while we establish feeding and whatnot and check your levels, make sure you're alright. And she said, but if you wait till next week, because I did say let's just wait till next week and see how it goes. She said if you wait till next week, you're probably looking at 5 days in hospital, because by then, if you've lost another half a stone, your blood sugar levels all dropped, and there was a word she used that I cannot remember, something about like when you're not eating and then all of a sudden you are eating again, your body kind of goes into shock, and they need to monitor me to ensure that doesn't happen, basically, to make sure I'm alright. So that can take 5 days. But what I thought was really, really inefficient, and it made us even more not want one. I'm getting my treatment every day at Newcastle Hospital, but if I get the feeding tube, I have to be an inpatient at Sunderland Hospital. So Sunderland's about 20 minutes away from me, Newcastle's about an hour away from me. So I said, well, how do you get your treatment then if you're an inpatient in a different hospital? He said, oh, well, you'd still come here every day, you just go back to the hospital and stay there. So I'm in that hospital, so obviously Lee'll have to drive us there, into the hospital, and then he'll have to drive to pick us up, to take us to the other hospital an hour away, stay for my appointment, and drop us back off at the hospital, and then come back home every day for potentially 5 days. That just does not seem... I just assumed they would make you an inpatient in the hospital you're getting the treatment in. Obviously there's a reason that they can't, but no, that was not selling it to me. My local hospital is organising a nebuliser for us though, which is apparently meant to help with all the crap in my throat. It like puffs out liquid medicine, like steam, so it clears all the mucus. So I'm going to give that a go this week when that's ready to pick up. I was also prescribed Difflam spray because my throat is so sore. That's meant to numb your throat, but again it's a topical treatment, it's not like medication, it's just kind of localised, so it won't go through the breast milk or anything like that. It's just meant to numb your throat. Now nothing else that I've had for my mouth has really worked, but the Lidocaine lollies, which numb your tongue, do. So I'm hopeful this thing might numb my throat a little bit, and that might give us a bit of relief, because it's starting to hurt when I drink water, which then I'm definitely going to have to go on a feeding tube if I can't even drink water. But yeah, so that's where we're at the minute, just waiting on a couple of prescriptions. And now officially going into week 5 tomorrow, so tomorrow will be my 21st session, and I'll be down to single figures, and I'm really excited for that. It's a bit hard to like be excited for the countdown because I know the side effects get worse after your treatment ends. So like people's going to us, oh, you've only got 2 weeks left, and I'm like, yeah, I've only got 2 weeks of going to hospital every day, but after that I've still got weeks, months of side effects. So it's hard to be excited, but it does feel like the end is closer, coming into single digits. So yep, another week done, and hopefully I'm well enough to come on and tell you next week about all the awful things that are going on, and a little bit of positivity maybe somewhere in there.